Good evening. What an evening, what an evening, what an evening, what a time that we're having in the house of the Lord. Yes, in the house of the Lord. See, you can tell I'm churchy. I'm talking about in the house of the Lord. So we're just grateful tonight for being here with you on another Monday night. Happy Monday prayer for marriages with your host. My name is Marcia Baker, and I'm an evangelist in the kingdom. Also, our co-partner, our partner in crime, evangelist Nikki is with us, and she's going to be teaching us tonight on a topic, right? So happy Monday again. And we're going to be talking about tonight what's your spouse attachment style, right? And Evangelist Nikki is gonna give us. So we have. I never knew about this. This is my first time hearing about it, but it's very interesting based off what she's told me about today. So I want you to share this broadcast out. Listen, it's Monday night. You know what time it is. We're here to enlighten and educate and to shed light on different relationship topics and issues that come up in our relationship. And we just want to be a blessing to you all, just to help you navigate through your relationship issues, right? Because a lot of times we often said it here. We don't know everything. We don't ascribe to know everything. We don't say we know everything because we're learning as we're teaching. I don't know about anybody else, but I know I'm learning as we're teaching, and I love it because you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to say, you know what, I don't know something and somebody else can teach me something. All right. So tonight, without any further ado, I want to introduce y'all to our very own evangelist, Nikki McKenzie. All right. So off over to you, woman of God.
Glory to God. Glory to God. Good to be back. Yet another Monday. Good to be back. Yes. Listen, we are just elated just to have another 24 loaded onto us, ain't it? Good to have you all on, whether you're catching the live broadcast or the replay. We appreciate your time. We thank you for inviting us in your earring. We do not take this moment lightly. It's truly a privilege and an honor just to have a conversation. And feel free anytime to chime in via email, via leaving your messages. And the best way you can help us with this platform is to share, right? Because knowledge is power. It might not impact you, it might not be something for you. The fact that you're here, you might know someone that it might be for. So we appreciate you, as Evangelist said, sharing the broadcast. And it's good to be back. So, yes, as the topic went forward, what is your spouse attachment style? And as Evangelist alluded to, she weren't aware of that. So if you don't even know what your attachment style is, I implore you, Google it. There are several different quizzes out there that you can take. I didn't want to specify anyone because they're different length and stuff. So I want you to do your own research, right? And see which quiz you and your partner can take. And they're all free quizzes, a lot of free quizzes out there online that you and your partner can take and identify if you already don't know what your attachment style is, and more importantly, to know your spouse attachment style. So basically, what we want to talk about again is attachment style. And if you have never heard attachment style, if you already knowledge on attachment style, think about, or some people have said, have you ever noticed that you usually think and act in a certain way in a relationship? Right. So since we are prior for marriage, we're gonna be dealt mostly geared towards relationship in marriages, but it also in friendship, in
Search,
workship,
right?
right?
And see which
So
quiz
we just want
you,
to
it's
more
a, since
focus
we're prior
on
for
marriages, romantic relationship, but it applies to any genre you want to fit it in. What is your attachment style? So maybe you're a bit jealous and afraid of being alone for too long, or perhaps you feel confident and totally trusting of your partner, which is great if you're confident. All insecure attachment creates negative pattern because there's negative attachment style and there is positive attachment style. Have you ever wondered why you keep ending up in the same maladaptive relationship situation? Like you change partner, but it's the same. It's like just a different name, different body, but it's the same energy, same spirit you're attracting over and over again, right? So even when it's different partner, it doesn't matter the race you end up with. It's the same result you are getting. You're getting either anxious, you're getting clingy, right? You getting jealous for no reason. You're so clingy that you want to every second you check in where you at, What you doing? Video call me, over anxious. These are a lot of frequent behavior you find your partner is exuding, or perhaps it might be you if you don't know your attachment style. But we want to talk more about if you are already noticing these pattern in your partner, and notice that you've been attracting this pattern in your partner, right? So a lot of time we change partner, but I'm getting the same result. It must be the partner's fault or the spouse that I choose. Or you hear people say, why don't you choose better? Right? Your fault. You keep choosing the same spirit, right? But it's a reason why we attract this type of person in our life. If you notice, you attract person that are prone to withdrawing from relationship once it becomes too emotionally intimate, or once it's time for commitment. You have the wedding date plan, the engagement is done, the reception, all everything is already planned out, and up to the time for the wedding, a day or even up to 2 weeks, a week or 2 days before the wedding or the day out, they're withdrawn, they got cold feet, your partner call it off. And they're like, they have a fear of commitment because they be like, okay, are you gonna, when I make this lifelong decision, I don't trust you enough to be here with me, so I don't want to get myself in this situation. And sometimes they can't explain it, and you're like, we're all going great, we talk about this, but they can't commit. It's like they get anxious when it's time for them to commit. So if you notice, these patterns are negative pattern that destroy relationship, because one person is like, I'm confident in myself, I trust, and you're trying to affirm your partner in every way that you can. But the more you do that, the more emotionally withdrawn they are, the more emotionally challenged the relationship become, the more distance they become. Well, there might be a reason for that. One of the possible explanation is that your spouse might be in one of these negative attachment style. There's actually 4 different attachment style. The one that we want to be in is secure attachment style. But if you're not in a secure attachment style, you might be in avoidant, which also known as dismissive or anxious avoidance style. And or you might be in disorganized, as another attachment style that are negative, which is fearful avoidance style. Or anxious, meaning you are preoccupied, right? You always on alert. Everything is a trigger for you. So these are the 4 different attachment styles. But like I said, out of these 4, 3 are negative, right? And these are formed in childhood based on how your caregiver give you attention, right? How safe did you feel with your caregivers, your parents, those who raised you, right? How affirmative they were of you, right? So we're going to give a breakdown of the different attachment style. So first, secure attachment style is defined by an ability to build healthy, long-lasting relationships. So you're picking my brain, Evangelist. So that's the attachment style that we need to be in. And this attachment style is developed by secure attachment style is a result of feeling secure, like I said before, with your caregiver from childhood, and being able to ask for reassurance or validation without fear of punishment, fear of being told that you need to know your place and take a number, wait your turn, and they never come back and check on you, right? So ultimately, when you have a secure attachment style based on how you were raised, you feel safe, you feel understood, you're you're easy to comfort others because you were comforted as a child with your parents or your caregiver, and you valued during your early interaction. There was value added, right? You didn't feel less than. You were able to voice your concern without retribution and punishment. And the signs of healthy attachment style, which is the secure attachment style, your ability to regulate your emotion, your EQ is on point, right? You're emotionally secure. You don't need people to validate you, right? You easily trust enough others. Once get to know them, you're not just going to meet someone and just trust them like that. But once they show you who they are, you trust who they are. Fear of trusting others and expect the worst of others. You have effective communication skill. You're able to seek emotional support. It's okay to raise your hand and say, listen, I need help, right? You don't feel like, oh, nobody's care. No one is going to support me. Nobody's going to listen, right? So when you're secure, you easily to raise your hand. Listen, I need support. I'm drowning over here, right? You're comfortable being alone. You love your own company, right? You're not fearful and anxious that everybody's going to leave you, and you're clingy. You're able to self-reflect. You have an ability to self-reflect in partnership, in your relationship. You can take assessment and see what was my role in it. You know what? We have a discussion, but let me see what I can do different. You don't point finger, you don't blame, and it's always somebody else's fault. You're easy to connect with, and you have the ability to manage conflict well. And most importantly, you have high self-esteem, because all the other attachment style, you have low self-esteem. But when you're secure and in a healthy space based on how you were raised, you have a higher self-esteem. You don't need the world. You don't need to reach out to everyone out there to validate you. So that's the beauty of being having a secure attachment style. So the other one we talk about, which are not secure, these are negative attachment style, is the avoidant attachment style. You might know someone that have an avoidant attachment style, right? This attachment style is defined as by failure to build long-term relationship with others due to an inability to engage in physical and emotional intimacy. You shut down. Once you're getting close, it's getting all hot and heavy, you start backing up. Right? You feel like they're gonna let you down. So I'm gonna give you just enough, but don't get too close now, right? We don't want to get you don't want to get too close. When it start become vulnerable, you started shutting down because you fear they're gonna use whatever you trust them with, they're gonna use it back against you. They're gonna throw, mind you, this person have never done anything to hurt you, but because of what happened in childhood, you bring that same thing, that same mindset in a relationship. So you feel like, listen, I'm independent. I got this. I got to take care of me. Ain't nobody care. I got to be strong for me. So we go by the umbrella of Miss Independence. So even when you're drowning, even when you're bleeding and people wanted to help, no, I got this. You just lose a limb. But no, it's okay. I got this, right? You refuse help because what do you want? Right? We always on the edge that if you help me, then I owe you and I'm in debt to you and I don't want to be slave to you because you're gonna use that over me every chance you get. Remember when? Right, because of trust issue. You never had anyone you could totally trust and rely on to be there for you without any expectation. So we put up this wall. We feel threatened by anyone who tries to get close to us. We spend more time alone than interacting with others. And we believe in life that we don't need others in your life. I'm good all by myself. You go out of your way to avoid physical intimacy. People trying to hug you, you're like, back up. You're invading my space, right? So you're not receptive and inviting to intimacy because you fear that once you get close and somebody get close to you, they have an ulterior motive. And so an anxious attachment style, because we just discussed the avoidance, right? We like to be alone and we play Miss Independent. When we do, we need people because listen, God works through people. So, and an anxious, the next one is an anxious attachment style, also known as anxious preoccupied, is another type of insecure attachment character. You fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. You depend on your partner to validate you and to emotionally regulate you. You become codependent on your partner. And some of the signs that you can tell that you are in an anxious attachment style, whether with you or your partner, if you can find yourself in it or identify yourself with these, or you can identify these in your partner, is sign of clinginess, highly sensitive or criticism. You perceive things that's not there. You need an approval from others, even when your partner is affirming you. You feel like it's not good enough. Well, they said that before. Why should I believe them now? Because you also have trust issue. So you're going to reach out to anyone you can, whether it be in social media, friend, whatever, right? People like those always need validation, and they're not committed in relationship because they're constantly looking for validation outside of themselves. So no matter how much their partner affirm them, they still need somebody else to validate them. They have jealousy tendency, difficulty being alone as well, low self-esteem. Like I said, the common trait with these negative avoidance style, attachment style is a form of low self-esteem, feeling unworthy of love, intense fear of rejection because probably mommy wasn't there, daddy wasn't there, or dad or mom might be in the house, but you probably have sibling and you weren't the favorite, right? You might be the firstborn and you're told to take care of the other. So there you never get a chance to be a child yourself because you become a parent early, helping your sibling. Right. And you always told to do, but you never get affirmed that you did a good job or compliments that you are appreciated. Right. So you feel unworthy of love when somebody try to love you because they never experienced that either from your parents, your caregiver, or how you were raised. There was no love. It was just do. And it was never enough. You fear of rejection because like everybody get close to me is gonna leave. Right? So you're constantly telling yourself, I don't want to get too close to you. Don't waste your time knowing me. This is just a hit and a run. Don't get close because nobody stays, right? So we start telling ourselves that, and then we start telling others that get close to us. So we have a significant fear of abandonment. So you cling to your partner so much that it's in a chokehold. You monitor them, you're checking on them. And if you call them and you can't get them, you started to panic, right? God forbid they don't call you back. You have anxiety. So it's a significant fear of abandonment. So even when the relationship is not feeding you or you're not benefiting from the relationship, it's not healthy, you're not growing, you hold on so much that it's a chokehold. So you have difficulty trusting others, but you hold on to others because you have conflicting thought in your mind. Well, if I hold on to them a little bit tighter, then I'll be able to trust them. But if I see anything acting like abundance, no, I can't get too close. I don't think I can trust them. They're gonna leave. Mommy leave, daddy leave. Why should you stay? I don't deserve of love because everybody that's supposed we categorize everybody. Right? You might have a loving grandparents or loving siblings that take care of you or whatnot, but because mommy wasn't there or daddy wasn't there or your caregiver that you look up to for leadership, they weren't there to support you emotionally, affirming you and let you know that you matter. You feel rejected every time somebody get close to you that they're going to do the same thing. So you might have a partner that you are so secure in yourself and you're trying to do everything to affirm them. But they have this mindset where you're going to abandon them. And you just have to reassure them, that I am not your parents. I'm not who wasn't there for you in child because everything that I show you and being going through with you, I am always here for you. But that's not good enough for them until they get help because they're going to try to find it someplace else. Well, you said it. Well, let me see if somebody else said the same thing. And they're trying to look for validation in every way that they can. So that's a dangerous person to be with because those are people that categorize that easily will cheat emotionally and also, emotional cheating might end up to be physical cheating because they're constantly looking for validation from others. So when you have a partner that is prone with infidelity, that might be one of the attachment styles that they have if they're constantly seeking validation outside of the relationship. So the next one that we're going to look at is disorganized attachment style, which is the third one that you don't want to be in. It's an attachment style that is inconsistent behavior and difficult to trust in others. Because like I said, all these three common denominator is low self-esteem, trust issues, right? They are the common denominator between these three. Because if that weren't taught to you or you were taught or show love, then you grew up feeling like, listen, my parents, my caregivers, they never loved me. So we have this mindset that nobody will love me. I can't trust nobody because growing up, there was nobody to trust. I could not trust my parents, right? So you get in a relationship and you're so secure, but you find somebody who had that problem. So the disorganized attachment style is inconsistent behavior and difficulty trusting others. Some of the signs are fear of rejection as well, inability to regulate emotion, contradictory behavior. They all have an FB. They're all in with you. You'll be Netflixing and chilling for a whole day. And then later on, they switch up on you. They go ghosting you, right? They kind of catfish you. You know, those one, you know what I mean? And they want you to keep chasing after them, right? So they're inconsistent with their word, their commitment, their promises, right? When you tell them, listen, I like you to show up on time, they'll show up on time the first time. The next time, they'll come 15 minutes later. And then they'll make all the excuse. Well, you never ready on time. And they make all the excuse in the world. They're inconsistent with their word and their promises and their commitment. And they fear. They fear commitment. So this attachment style easily will mislead you. And I know y'all heard a lot of people nowadays using the word catfishing or ghosting. That person, those people who have these attachment style is prone. If you find somebody constantly, they'll text you every day, like 3 days in a row. They're on time, texting you good morning. They texting you good evening. Honey, I'm at work. You know, honey, I'm heading back home. And all of a sudden you can't hear from them. And you're checking in and the message is unread and they pop out of the blue and like 2-3 days later and like, what happened? And they are called brand new. Like they forget that they normally text, honey, I'm leaving the office, honey, I'm heading home, I'm going, you know, the regular communication that you'd have. They'll go hot and heavy, they'll go missing. And you constantly calling them and then they make it seem like you're bothering them, you're smothering them. Why are you checking on me? I'm grown. And they give you all that. I'm talking in relationship. I'm grown. You don't need to be monitoring me. You're not my parent. It's a deflect mechanism. Because of their inconsistency, they use that to cover and make it seem like you are at fault. So it would always manifest itself if you're paying attention in the relationship that you're in with your partner. And if it's not clear which one of these that they fall under, you have the option to do the quiz. Like I said, there are several quizzes out there that you can do that will help highlight which attachment style you're in. It is important that you know why people act the way they act. We weren't born this way. And people say, oh, I saw me stay, I saw me born. This is who I am. No. Our childhood, and I know people don't like to go back to their childhood, but unfortunately, it shapes us. How we were raised in the home, our community shape us, our society shape us. Most importantly, the people that we look up to, the people them that we supposed to feel safe with and secure with, it does shape how we do life and how we do relationship. Sometimes you might hear your siblings say, you acting like mom, or you acting like your mother. You right? And you look at me, I'm nothing like my mother. But what they're saying is they're seeing the same pattern that they see. Or your aunt might say, oh my gosh, you does the same thing like your mom would do. The way your attitude is, right? And somebody might say, oh, this is less, you acting like your dad. Your dad would say something like that. Or your mom would say something like that. Or, you know, whoever raised you, they will, you know, see that correlation that you're acting the same way. You're like, no, I'm nothing like that person, right? With attitude. So one of the things you want to ask your partner is, or your spouse, right? What was your relationship like with your caregivers? How close were you, right? How did they show up for you on things that were important to you, right? When you bring home a report card and you didn't get all A's, right? How did they make you feel when you got a report card? Were you punished if you got like a B or something and you're not getting straight A's, right? It helps shape how you do relationship if you weren't affirmed. So when somebody's trying to affirm you, thinking they have an ulterior motive. So we're trying to back up. We're trying to already thinking the worst of the worst. Because the people that we said we love and trust that's supposed to be there for us weren't there to support us the way we want them to. But the good news is, as adults, as we always said, we cannot change our childhood. We cannot change what our parents or our caregivers, what they did and did not do. Our healing is our responsibility. If you want a different result in your relationship or your partner to see a different result in your partner, we implore you to do these quiz. And also there's help out there. There's therapists out there, counseling out there can help you navigate how to regulate these emotions so it's not damaging your relationship. Nobody wants somebody in a relationship that's ghosting them. Nobody wants somebody that's every time you do something, they think in the ulterior motive that you're not trustworthy when you know you are, and they're projecting on you, right? You but me can't trust woman. Woman cannot. If we hear men out there said women cannot be trusted, or women said men cannot be trusted. Well, you haven't been with all men. You haven't been with all women. So who gives you the authority to make that decision to say all men and all women can't be trusted? But what we're saying is the people that I've trust have let me down. Why should I trust you now? Even when they're not giving you another sign, you already come with that lens that they're not trustworthy. So we have to examine ourselves and understand a lot of time we destroy and burn in our own house because we tell ourselves, this is who I am. This is how mommy did it. This is how daddy did it. Right? So I'm not going to change, but you're not getting the result that you want. You see what the outcome is with your parents or your caregiver. You don't want that result unless it's a secure relationship and they have a secure, attachment style. That's what you want, where you can be able to emotionally regulate yourself because of how you were raised and the environment that you were in. When you're over clingy and over jealous and you're ghosting people, you're inconsistent with your word and your behavior, that's not healthy. You're putting your partner in a state of anxiety. You put them in a space of where they have to be looking like, examine themselves even when they know they're secure. And a lot of time, a secure person in those relationships will walk away. And then you say, see, I told you nobody stay. You see, this is why I don't trust you. You see, this is why I couldn't open up to you. You see, so we use those as umbrella to hide our flaws because we scared that if we're vulnerable, they're gonna judge us. And it's not so. When you become vulnerable, you'll be able to get the proper help that you need. But if you're not able to identify that, listen, this is an issue for me. Every relationship, everybody's saying this, different woman, different man, and you divorce, you remarried. You're in a different relationship, a whole different married now. And the same spouse is saying the same thing that you heard before. Come on now. We got to look in the mirror and examine self. What do I need to change? Why am I so, my emotion is irregular, right? Why am I always flying off the handle? Why my first defense is to go to yelling and screaming? Why is my first defense is to shut down? Why my first defense is to ghost your partner, ghost your spouse? They're having a conversation. You can say, you know what, let's revisit it. I don't want to talk about it. And you shut down and you don't revisit it. That's inconsistency. Because your partner checking back in, okay, can we discuss this now? How much time do you need? I said I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to address it, right? Now you're leaving your partner in limbo. That's not secure. So I want to get to that place where we identify our own attachment style. And if you're in any of the three negative attachment style, avoidant, disorganized, and anxious, help is here to help get you to be in a secure attachment style where you're confident in yourself, where you don't look for external validation. You don't need social media to tell you that you're beautiful. You don't need social media to tell you that you're handsome. You don't need to reach out to Dick, Tom, or Harry out there that you don't know from Adam to validate you. And then you come back just and see, look how many likes I get. They said they like my new year cut. See, they like my new year, but you said you didn't like it. Yeah, you have situation. Because people don't know you from Adams, right? So we have help, and I implore you to go ahead. We have Evangelist Baker and we have other people and staff that you can reach out for help for counseling, and we'll help guide you in the right direction to get the proper help that you need. But first, you need to do that quiz, research it, see where you fall under, and sort out the proper help that you need so you're not repeating the same cycle. You're not just changing, person to person, you divorce, remarried, and it's the same person showing up. It's time for us to take examination of self. Don't beat down your spouse if you keep attracting the same spirit. It's within. We're gonna stop for there for time. I hope something said tonight, just kind of as Evangelist said, we just whet your appetite tonight, just food for thought. Because like I said, it's easy for us to see these behavior in our spouse, the avoidant, disorganized, or anxious, right? There's a different name for them, but these are the standard name. But if you're not secure, where you're confident in yourself and emotionally regulated in yourself, your EQ and your IQ is regulated, then it's time to do this assessment and see where you fall under and get the necessary help that you need. Counseling is available. So I hope tonight it just open. If you already know these, try to find them in your partner. You can pinpoint when they're ghosting. You can pinpoint when there's I don't trust you, or they say I don't trust no human being. I don't trust nobody. Yeah. Whenever you hear people say I don't trust nobody, you don't know everybody to say that. So you need to get clarification. Are you referring to me right now? Let's talk. So those are avoidant issue where we use to put on the mask because we don't want to get help. We don't want to be vulnerable and we don't want to be exposed. But it's okay. It's okay. Because if you want to sustain a long lasting relationship where you're not butting head, it's best to get the necessary help that you need. We believe in helping, as evangelists would say, we're here to save one marriage at a time. And even just for you to re-examine what you got going. If you say, I'm good over here, there's always room to grow. There is always
Absolutely.
room to improve. And that's what we don't have it all figured. We're growing and learning every day. But every knowledge that we gain, we want to share it with you because knowledge is power. And we're here to equip us, right?
Mhm.
We already have so much odds against us. Let's work together and foster healthy marriages, healthy relationships. So our children will have healthy, secure attachment style. It starts with us. Be the change you want to see.
Amen. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm sitting here. I found one of the assessments and I'm taking them. I'm on question number 22, right? And I'm like, wow, I'm answering these things and I'm like, really have to, they're really like assessment questions that you do it that when they're hiring you in corporate America, these are some of the questions that they act the style of questioning for you to respond to get your results. So I implore you all. I'm sitting here and I'm taking it. I'm taking my
It
test.
is an eye opener because a lot of time we think
It
it's
is.
our spouse, but if you're not secure in yourself and you keep attracting insecure people, there's something there that we need to examine ourselves as well. So
This is one
I
of the
always said,
questions. This is one of the questions, right? I hunger for closeness, but I fear the emotional difficulty of it at the same time, whether it's with friends, family, or a romantic partner. Y'all go take these tests. Take the test. I'm telling you, you will be surprised. I can't wait to finish to see which one of the four attachment style I am because I need to know because I was having a conversation with someone earlier and they're telling me that I was avoidant. So I want to see if after I take the quiz, if I'm avoidant, um, or preoccupied or dismissive avoidant. I want to see which one I am, or of the four, or if I'm anxious
wow.
preoccupied
Now
or
you
I'm
got to be
secure and
honest when you
attached.
take it. Now
No,
don't
I
just
am,
choose anything.
and I'm answering the questions really honest. So I don't know how it's
Yeah.
gonna come out. I'll give y'all the results next week because we're gonna continue this because it's so important to find out more about ourselves so that we can see ourselves. And the person was pointing out my behaviors, and I'm like, but I don't see myself as doing those things. And so now we come with this topic tonight. It's helping me. And I can say this topic is helping me. If it's not for anybody else tonight, it's helping me. All right. Not with my married relationship, but friends relationship. Because it's for
And
friends,
business
family,
partner too,
business
right? And how you
partners, you know what I'm
need
saying? Church
to
members, church
negotiate. Yes.
brothers and sisters. So I'm taking this test to be a better friend to my church brother or sister or to my friends, period. All right. So don't even though we're talking about prayer for marriages and it's for your spouse, take it for your friends and family as well. All right. Because I'm taking it. Let me see where I am and where I can improve. I think I'm going to have to do it two times, one for my husband and one for my friends and family. All right. So listen, thank you so much, Evangelist Nikki. Very informative session. What is your spouse attachment style? And I truly appreciate you for coming up with this topic. Listen, we're not finished. She's coming back next week and we can talk about it together. We're going to talk about our assessments and our answers together, dealing from a friendship basis. Also, listen, if
Bring
you
the
have not
result. Bring the result next week.
I'm bringing mine. Listen. If you have not yet joined our Thursday night community, it behooves you. I am beseeching you to join us. Last week Thursday was just phenomenal with Bishop. Wayne Smith. It was an awesome session. Listen, the session didn't finish. We just stopped because we ran out of time. So I'm inviting you again to come. We're doing part 2 this Thursday. I survived, so can you. Part 2. This session is only on Zoom. The information is on my Facebook page. Listen, we are inviting you to come out and be a part of our Thursday night community. It was phenomenal last week. Every session I say is phenomenal. But it was just great. Anytime there's breakthrough for persons on the platform, the session is phenomenal. And that's just about every single session that we do. All right. So listen, go ahead and take the test. See which attachment style you are and be honest and come back next week. We're going to give the results. All right. So we love you. Enjoy your evening. Have an awesome rest of your day. Again, thank you, Evangelist Nikki, for this awesome topic. God bless you. See you next Monday. Or matter of fact, see you Thursday evening on our